Well, hello, ladies. Thank you for joining. We're excited to be here on this Monday afternoon. I hope everybody had the most amazing weekend. And today we're going to be sharing some incredible stories with these ladies here on with me today. And we're going to talk about something I think most of us have struggled with most of our lives, and that's insulin resistance. And most of us, there's Mary, most of us don't even know what that is. I didn't know what it was. But so I'm going to share with that. We're going to share that with you today too. A lot of us are struggling with our weight. We're struggling with eating. We're struggling with menopause, all those things. And we're going to kind of go over that today. But just to get started, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm 65. I've been struggling my entire life with yo-yo dieting. For me, dieting always meant deprivation. I was depriving myself of something, and that is not sustainable. And a few years ago, my mom got cancer, colon cancer, and I lost her to that. And I'll share my picture real quick of my mom because she's my hero. But she succumbed to cancer. And really, a lot of times when I think about the whole journey, she had type 2 diabetes to start with. She had shingles, she had a lot of psoriasis, all these things. She was metabolically not healthy. And when the cancer came, it was kind of a shock. But if I would have known, I think what I've learned over the last few years, earlier in my life, maybe this is something that could have prevented my mother from getting what she got. And we all personally know someone that's had this horrible disease and lost someone to it. It's devastating. And so I know we all have kind of a story to share with that. But I want to talk to you about what metabolic issues are from. And I myself was struggling after my mom passed away. And actually, I was her caretaker. I was living in Michigan at the time, and I used to drive back and forth from Michigan to Ontario. She lived in Canada. And on that journey of going through that, plus at the same time, I was going through a very difficult divorce. I don't think any divorce is not difficult. It takes a toll on us, but it was a double whammy for me. And I lost control of my own life. I started blowing up. And I'd never done that before in my life. This was the first time, unless maybe when I was like a teenager, when you have the teenage pudge. But I ended up looking like this. And needless to say, it got me very anxious. I was very upset with myself. I had never looked like that before. And being an active person, it kind of was a vicious cycle. I ended up getting into a place where I was more depressed. Spring comes along, you want to get some pretty clothes, and I'd try them on. I'd have, fat hanging over the edges of my pants and stuff, and I just didn't look good. And it kind of did an opposite for me. I went home, I'd sit down, grab a big bag of chips because I like salty things, and maybe a bottle of wine, and I'd loathe in my despair. And then what would happen is then I'd get more upset with the fact that I did that. And then it was like a vicious circle. And I'm really, really thankful. A few years ago, when I was going through this, my good friend, a fellow coach, because I've been coaching for years on how to eat right and exercise, he told me that I was probably insulin resistant. And I said, what is that? So let me share this with you quickly. And you ladies can unmute yourselves because I'm going to be calling on you a little bit here and there to kind of maybe add some things in here with it. But I I didn't know what insulin resistance was. Did you ladies know what it was before you got kind of introduced to this?
I absolutely, it was not on my radar at all. Not at all. I thought it was
Well,
a diabetic issue only.
I
exactly.
was,
Me too.
oh, I was aware of what insulin resistance was about 6 months prior to hear about this. I've been doing a lot of research and I discovered it, but I didn't know what to do about it. Nobody told me what I could do about it. So when Carolyn Clark said, I know why we can't lose weight. Why? Because we're insulin resistant. And I said, oh my gosh, I know that. So what do
Same
we
thing.
do? So I was really excited to hear about it.
Well, awesome. I can't wait when you guys share your stories. It's going to be very exciting. You're going to knock your socks off. But take a look at this picture, everybody. I mean, this is 93% of American adults are metabolically unhealthy. I mean, that's crazy. And it's insulin resistance, a lot of it. So look at some of these symptoms. And I'm telling you, I'm going to show another graphics in just a moment here. We're going to set this up for you. But when I saw this here, and this came out of the New York Post as well as on the CDC page, type 2 diabetes is on track to surge 700% in young Americans. And later on, I'm going to show you a child that's only 9 years old that already had fatty liver disease, which is a sign of insulin resistance. But look at this, 9 out of 10 of the top diseases that we have, the biggest killers are lifestyle related and preventable. And you know what I was led on to believe, because my grandma was type 2 diabetic. My mom was type 2 diabetic. You know, when you go to the doctor and you fill out paperwork, when you go to a new doctor, you have to put your family history on there. And what usually ends up coming up is like, this is what my parents have. So I know this is probably what I'm going to end up with, which isn't true. I found this out after the fact. It's not true. I thought I was destined for this stuff. So this is a really, really major thing when you realize that 9 out of 10 of the top diseases are actually reversible and lifestyle related. So let's take a quick look at this here. These are some of the symptoms of insulin resistance. And if you kind of go through there, I kind of looked at 5 of these: the brain fog, tired after meals, wanting to crash, upper abdominal obesity. I was struggling with losing weight, constantly hungry. I had a whole bunch of these. Do you guys relate with any of these, ladies?
Yeah, that's when I knew that that was something I need to address, and that was insulin resistance. I had a couple of them. And interesting enough, last year I got a skin tag, and I just thought, oh well, it's because I'm getting older and wiser. Because that's what we relate skin tags to, right? As you get older. And the weight, I was not able to just break this plateau or actually have scale wins, as Carolyn Clark says. And I definitely needed some because my clothes was telling me that.
Yeah, incredible. Well, it's true. And there is so many things. I mean, look at here, what hormone imbalances with men. They start getting that fat accumulation around the waist, man boobs. We've seen those. Lack of strength. And then we already have 30-year-olds, young men running around with erectile dysfunction. And that's not normal. Women, we're not out of the woodwork. We get thyroid. I mean, I was on thyroid medication before I started what we're going to teach you today. Women have PMS, PCOS issues, infertility. So many women right now have trouble getting pregnant, and it's all related to this. This here, this visceral fat, I'm going to talk about real quickly, is horrible. The subcutaneous fat is fine. That's this kind of fat right here. The flabby fat, we can get rid of that. This fat, though, behind your abdominal muscle is severely dangerous. If you have this and you don't know what it is, stand up, touch your stomach. If it's sticking out to here and it's hard as a rock, you can't jiggle it, you have visceral fat. And this is dangerous. This is a way to an early grave because it is choking every single one of your organs. This here is what a healthy heart looks like. And this is one that has visceral fat on it. Can you imagine all your organs in here wrapped in that fat? Can you just imagine it's choking all your organs? And it's something, I mean, you can walk around outside and see people, they look like men that look like they're pregnant. You know they're not pregnant. It's this visceral fat, and it's extremely dangerous. And what this leads to, when you become insulin resistance, it leads to bigger things. So this is from the CDC. 84.1 million people in this country are pre-diabetic, and 9 out of 10 of us don't know it. I was one of those. We just mentioned, some of us on here, Danielle mentioned it too, and so did Mary. We didn't know we were insulin resistant. And it leads to this diabetes. and this is even bigger, 30.3 million people are diabetic. That's 1 out of every 10 people. So if you were this weekend with a crowd of people celebrating the 4th of July, just look around, you know that 1 out of the 10 of those people were diabetic. And more shocking is 1 out of 4 people don't know they're diabetic till they end up having something happen. They go to the doctor and the doctor says they are type 2 and they are shocked. They go, how did this happen to me? We're going to show you how this happens. It's a process that doesn't go overnight. It happens over 5, 10, 15 years. And what causes it is this. Every single thing that we eat, fruit, cereal, bread, every carb that we eat turns to sugar. Okay. Some more severe than others. And our great American diet looks something like this. And again, that's not our fault. It has a lot to do with the food industry. They're out there to make money. I mean, go in the grocery store, all the food around the outside aisles is all very highly addictive junk food. When you check out at the checkout counter, what do they have there? All kinds of junk food. It's like tempting. And it makes us hungry all the time, and it makes it so that we lose control. So usually what happens is we get up in the morning, and this is something we've been taught to have 3 meals a day and have, like, snacks during the day. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, you have a blood sugar spike. Then we have a crash, and then we have a snack because we're hungry again. Then we have lunch, another snack, dinner, another snack. And guess what happens? It looks like something like this. Our insulin is constantly elevated and it cannot come back down. It's struggling to come down, but it can't. And insulin, by the way, is a very important hormone. We need it. Insulin has a good function in the body. It protects us. It helps us regulate our sources of energy. But what happens is when we have too much glucose and constantly have our insulin elevated and it can't come down, our cells get really sick. And this is a diagram I just fell in love with because I'm a visual person. So this here is the cell. It's full of glucose. It's already loaded up in this picture. And we have insulin fighting in there, trying to bring it back down. But right behind it, we have more glucose. And there's nothing our insulin can do to bring it back down. And years of this makes us insulin resistant and then type 2 diabetic. It's just a cycle. And I'm going to talk about the 3 macronutrients. But just before we get into this part here, I want to do something. I'm going to share a couple of before pictures. I'm not going to do all of you right now, but I'm going to start with Carolyn because she sent me her pictures. I'm very excited, and then we'll go through a couple others. So let me just change screens here for a minute. I want to share this story here. Was it March, Carolyn?
February 1st.
February, thank you. Okay, so February, Carolyn and I talked about this, and she got on what we're going to teach you today on this protocol, and just share with everybody what's happened with you.
Well, thanks for asking me. Actually, I got approached by you as an opportunity, and I said no. So that's kind of funny because I wasn't looking for something more to do. And what I'm excited about is I was open-minded enough to at least say, what is it you have? And you shared with me your personal story. And what got my attention was the fact that you used the word insulin resistance and I think non-alcoholic fatty liver. And I was told about 8 years ago I had that. So, but like Mary Wellman said, and Danielle, we didn't really understand what it was or how to address it. And so I knew I had an issue, but I soon found out I was never going to lose my muffin top the way I was going at it because I didn't understand what you just said about the glucose spiking. I always knew that if I could skip breakfast, that would be great because then I could keep burning my fat. I heard that when glucose is low, which is in the morning after you've been sleeping, then the fat's got to go. So if I could sustain myself with something till lunchtime, that would be a win-win. But I didn't know anything about this. And now I've found that, yay, and I love it. I enjoy it every single morning. And some of the things it does for me is it helps me burn my fat as stored energy. And I had plenty of that. And I have more energy without the jitters, which is a major blessing because there's a lot of things out there that might curb the appetite, but it's not something that I can take, nor would I recommend. And this is packed with antioxidants. And it's also got a thing in it called chlorogenic acid, which causes me to be happy. And that's a blessing. And it's helped me a lot with inflammation. Back in the day, I just couldn't even have a pedicure, and they would massage your legs. It would just hurt so bad. I was so tender and so inflamed. And you could just see from my face all the inflammation that's gone from my body. So now I'm curbing my appetite. I don't want the sugary stuff. I don't want the salty stuff. And I've just found something that's a real blessing for me. And I've lost 17 pounds. But more than that, it's how I feel. I love how I feel with the energy and no jitters. Thanks.
Well, you look fabulous. I mean, look
Thank
at
you.
this. Look how tiny your waist is. Look at you. You look like you look even younger.
Tomorrow's my
I mean,
birthday. I'm going to be 76, and I'm not afraid to tell anybody that.
no, and you shouldn't be. I was in Vegas a few weeks ago and I met Carolyn for the first time in person. And I mean, she's just adorably cute. So you look fabulous. It's
You're
just
sweet.
no, it's amazing what's happened with you. And same with me here. I'm going to share real quick what's happened with me. You saw my before picture of this. In 90 days, following what we're going to teach you today by incorporating some intermittent fasting, reduced meal frequency, and adding more fiber to our life, what we've done, you can change so many things. This was me. 90 days later, I went from looking like this to this. And I'm an active person. I'm a runner. This was in Niagara Falls. And you can see, look at my face, look at the inflammation, look at my boobs. I don't have boobs really, big ones. And look at, they're all hanging out, my tummy and my legs. This is 90 days later on this protocol without counting calories and without dieting. That was a little over 3 years ago. And I haven't counted calories or dieted in that time. So I call this the new me. It's
Yes.
it is an absolute pleasure, and we're going to talk about that more now. And I'm going to get to the other two here in a minute. Let's talk about macronutrients. And once you get this in your mind, everything can change for you. And we're going to share a couple of tools with you that make this easier for you. Because I have intermittent fasted in my life before. And if anybody ever told me I had to skip breakfast, I would have said, what? Because I usually work out in the morning. I didn't think I could not exercise, and eat something. So we're going to share you some tools. But these are three very important macronutrients. There's carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. And they all have a different response in our body. So this is insulin right here. And this is what the macronutrients will do. So if you can see here, carbohydrates give you an immediate blood sugar spike because it turns to sugar. Whereas if you see proteins and fat, look at this, there's hardly any spike. It stays level. It will not spike your blood sugar. So if we can learn this, then we can learn to try to eliminate as much of the carbohydrates that we're consuming and focus more on good proteins and good fats. And again, what I just said before, we got totally messed up in our feeding the way we eat because of what the government really put out. And this is not something that just happened in the recent years. My partner and I, John, we were watching documentary on the history of the food industry. And this happened a few decades ago that, Kellogg's, Post cereal, they all came out with their cereals trying to sell it. And they started talking about having breakfast first thing in the morning. Well, if you look at our relatives, our grandparents, and even back further, people used to get up in the morning and they went out and did chores. They did work at home, went out to the fields, whatever they were doing, and then they'd come in the house maybe 11 o'clock or noon, and they'd have their first meal. Breakfast means breaking fast. It doesn't mean you have to eat it first thing in the morning. And that's what society has made us kind of go in that direction. And look at the obesity problem we have. And now we've got an epidemic with, people being pre-diabetic and getting type 2 diabetes. So let's talk about the 5 stages of when your blood sugar starts, high blood sugar. So stage number 1, this is when it's just starting in your body. You have a little bit of blood sugar elevation. below the diabetic range, but you start having fatigue during the day. You have cravings. That was me. I keep these in my desk as a reminder. I couldn't walk into a grocery store to even to grab, a bag of coffee to take home without walking out with some of these or these. And you know what? As soon as I got in the car, I rip them open and I started munching away on my drive home because I had cravings for salty things. So it causes cravings, brain fog, frequent urination, especially at night, and dry mouth. Those are first indicators that you're heading towards insulin resistance. Number two, second stage. Now it's getting worse. Your A1C could be a 6.1 at this point. You start having blurry vision. And like Danielle was saying, a lot of times these things that start happening to us, we're thinking it's age related. It's really not. So we start having more blurred vision, irritability, mood swings, trouble focusing, headaches, those skin tags Danielle was talking about. We think it's aging. And usually insulin resistance shows up first on your skin. You're going to have psoriasis, you can have, facial hair, you're going to have the skin tags. And what happens is you go to a dermatologist and what do? They cut them off. That's not even getting to the root cause of it. They're going to come back, right? Me being on this protocol, I had two little skin tags that showed up on me and they were gone in around 4 months. They just dried up and fell off. I know it sounds gross, but it's how it happened. So conditions and complications we don't see physically right away is early nerve irritation, fat in the liver, and inflamed blood vessels. So this is stage number 2. Let's go to stage number 3. It starts getting where your A1C now could be, a 5.7. Symptoms, you have high fasting blood sugars. You're tired all the time. You're always fatigued. You get belly fat and that visceral fat starts showing up. And now you're constantly hungry. You're craving all the time. And then we get complications that if you get tested for, you can start seeing that's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Like I said, we're already seeing that in children. They're not drinking alcohol. It's because of this. And it used to be fatty liver was related to people that were maybe 30, 40 years old that have been drinking for a long time. Now it's non-alcoholic fatty liver. Blood vessel damage, heart disease starts showing up, PCOS, low testosterone levels in men, and erectile dysfunction. So this is when you're entering your third stage. Then we get to stage 4, right here. A1C could be 6.5 or above. Now you have the neuropathy, the tingling in your fingers, in your feet. Vision changes even more. Poor wound healing. So if you get an infection or something, it takes longer to heal. Kidney damage and failure, and then plaque in the arteries and heart disease. This is now in a stage where you are considered diabetic, okay? And then the 5th stage, this is the most severe one, and this is chronic. You start having organ damage. You have severe pain and numbness in your joints and your extremities, loss of vision or blindness, kidney failure, amputations. I mean, I have seen people that had, diabetes that had those open sores on their feet and they never healed. And then they have to eventually, do amputations, heart attacks, stroke. And then now this country is finally recognizing that type 3 diabetes is Alzheimer's. And I mean, that's something that has just other countries had already recognized it. We in the United States are recognizing that too. Dementia and Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes. And what do? It gets brushed under the carpet, so to say. And what do doctors do? They immediately put us on statins for high cholesterol. They give us metformin, Ozempic. They do surgery as a solution to the problem instead of looking at what the root causes, so we can start looking at what the root causes, because that is most important. And how do we lower blood sugar effectively? Why do meds fall short? Because they're not addressing the root cause of things, which is insulin resistance. And we're going to talk about this right now because we have a solution for this. We have over 20 clinical studies on this. It's in the physician's desk reference. It's not a pharmaceutical, it's a nutraceutical. It's available in over 50 countries. It's patented as well. Without this protocol, this is what happens. We've already talked about constantly having elevated blood sugar. On this protocol, you're not going to have all this elevation. You're not going to have all these cravings. And what's lacking in our diets, which this protocol is going to replace for us, is two things. We're going to reduce meal frequency. I'm going to talk about this book here. I highly recommend everybody gets this book. It's The Diabetes Code by Dr. Jason Fung. He did a study at the University of Toronto. Amazing. This was several years ago. He took type 2 diabetics and got them off their medications in 3 to 6 months by reducing meal frequency. And we're going to talk about that today, intermittent fasting. The other thing that has been a big issue is because all our foods are processed. Everything's prepackaged in boxes and bags. I'm going to tell you right now, anything you buy in a box or a bag is processed. Okay, it's not, the fiber's been removed. And the benefits of fiber are crucial. So if you're a diabetic or a pre-diabetic, fiber is your best friend. We need it. For diabetes, it helps regulate your blood sugar levels. It blocks carbohydrates. It protects your blood from sugar and it keeps it in a target range. Remember earlier on, we talked about some of the biggest killers. Heart disease is the number one. Well, it's going to protect your heart. Fiber prevents your body from taking in the fats, the cholesterol. It lowers your triglycerides and it keeps your cholesterol levels normalized so you can reduce your risk of heart disease. Then we get to digestive problems, leaky gut syndrome, IBS. And I always talk about this. We have two brains, one's in our head and one's in our belly. And they're both related to each other, very much connected. If you have gut issues, digestive problems, and a lot of times it's because not having enough fiber, we also have mental things with depression, anxiety. The two are directly related. So fiber cannot be digested. So what it does, it kind of works like a scrub brush going through your intestinal tract and it gets rid of all the bacteria, which of course can help with, cancer, colon cancer. And that's what I wish I would have known more. My mom could have had more of this. And then obesity. We have an obesity epidemic around the world, especially in America because of the foods that we eat, processed, prepackaged foods. And when you add more fiber to your lifestyle, what happens is you can't eat as much. Fiber keeps you satiated and it makes you feel full longer. So guess what? This is another benefit. And the fiber that we're going to talk about these two tools here. The fiber, if it's hard for you, I know for me it is. I run around, I'm busy. I try to have enough fiber in my diet, but not all of us can. So sometimes it's just easier to supplement. And the University of Sydney did this amazing study. They are the glycemic index, the largest research facility in the world. And they did a study on not just any fiber, but this fiber. And it showed that if you took this before a meal, you could reduce your blood sugar glucose spikes by 28%. That's huge. So we're going to talk about that. So what is this fiber? It's called Balance. And it comes in these cute little packets. It's been around for 30 years. It's not a fiber like a Metamucil or a Benefiber. We've all seen these fibers at the store, right? Okay, what do we use these for? To help us go regular and go poop. It's a one source fiber. Okay, this fiber here is not. This has 9 fibers in them, 4 of them are patented. And all you do with this fiber is just before you eat your biggest meal of the day, and you can take it once or twice a day. I only eat 2 meals a day, sometimes only 1. I mix it with water, 4 to 6 ounces. I put it in a bottle, shake it up vigorously, and I chug it like a beer just before my main meal. Really easy. What it does, it keeps you satiated, slows digestion of carbs, gives you healthy blood sugar, keeps your insulin levels down, triglycerides, and your cholesterol levels down. It's remarkable. And just to give you kind of a visual on this, Without this fiber before your meals, you're going to have this happen. Remember, we talked about your blood sugar spike, your insulin's elevated, and then we have this crash. And in this crash, we have to rely on willpower because it makes us hungry, we're tired. Well, when your insulin is high, just like Carolyn mentioned, you can't burn fat, only when your insulin is low. So with the fiber, with this balance here, you can see there's not going to be as much of a spike. It's not hard at all. Your insulin is low, so you can keep a steady flow of fat burning going on. Your hunger is controlled, your cravings are controlled, and you have steady energy. And it's a patented product. It's scientifically validated in over 30 clinical studies. And the nice thing is plant-based. It's a food. Anybody can have it. It's halal, kosher, and gluten-free. So anybody can use it. It's just an amazing, remarkable supplement. And you can do this without a supplement, but you have to eat a lot of vegetables. You have to eat a lot of vegetables before each meal to get the effect that this fiber, because it's both soluble and insoluble. So that's on the fiber. You guys have anything you want to say about the fiber before we get into the Unimate?
I love the taste of it.
Which one do you like better?
I like the mixed berry. I like the orange, but I like the mixed berry the
Me
most.
too. Mixed berry is my favorite. It's like that big stick ice cream
There's no
Oh,
merge.
popsicle
Yeah.
that we used to eat as children.
Okay, that is interesting. And I'm so sorry you can't see my excited face.
We can.
We
yeah, we
see
can see you.
You can? Oh, that's funny. I don't see. Okay, it doesn't matter, but I like the orange. Now, the mixed berry is very good, but it is tart. And so the
oh,
orange
tart.
is kind of mild. And so now I offer everybody a taste of each. And so far, I'm the only one that likes the orange. So funny. But the thing I love about the fiber, I have a condition called diverticulosis, and that's in the gut where you have little pockets that really cause, if they get inflamed, itis, diverticulitis, excruciatingly painful. And in the old days, they would resection your bowel to get rid of that. But my doctor said, you just need good fiber. So when I added this fiber, in the beginning, it was like, well, I was taking another fiber. That was good enough. But thank heavens, Monica said, do the system. They're designed to go together. Scientifically made sense. I'm a scientist. So I said, okay. So I do this fiber twice a day, one before each meal. I never have any symptoms anymore of gut
Thank God.
pain. I mean, I
Yes.
love it. I would never go without my balance. And
I'm
yes,
happy to hear that, Mary, because I know we chatted about that. So I'm glad you are doing the full system.
yeah, I am doing the full system and I never miss my balance. I carry it in my purse. Yeah, never. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Do you
you
see?
see
Do you
you.
see yourself? Since you're talking, I just had to pull you up right now
Well,
because
okay, so let me tell this to everybody.
I want you to tell your story. Go for it.
So, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm a coach for blood flow restriction training, and I just couldn't be public with it anymore because I no longer looked the part. And the owner of the company said, "Mary, you just need to lose 30 pounds." Well, I said, "Okay, like buying a new dress, I'll lose 30 pounds." And I started to work at losing weight. The more I tried, the worse it got. But I had been coached by, I won't go into that story, to eat 6 times a day, to keep your metabolism up, to keep burning. Well, that didn't help me. I only gained more weight. And I was very depressed about it. So I was doing a lot of research, like I said. And about 10 months ago, from reading this fabulous book, The Cholesterol Myth, it led me into the cause of most of our health issues is insulin resistance.
Yep.
So I'm reading this book and I'm going, wow. Now it's important to have our cholesterol levels balanced in the right ratio. That's important. But that's not the cause of all these things that the media is telling us. So when I figured this out, that I was insulin resistant, then saying, now what do I do? And seriously, it was about 6 months. And Carolyn, when she called me and said, Mary, I know why we can't lose weight. Okay, Carolyn, why? Because we've talked about this, and no matter what I tried, no matter what diet I even did the carnivore diet. I've done every paleo,
Me
keto.
too.
Um,
Everything.
I did everything and
Yep.
could not lose weight. I was very sad, very depressed. And even though I have a smile there in that first place, I mean, that was depressing. I'm 76 years old and I don't want to look 76. I
Six.
don't want to
No,
look
you
kind of,
don't. You don't. You look
You know,
well,
marvelous.
and Carolyn, my dear friend of over 30 years, we've networked a lot of things together, fabulous products, fabulous companies, but that didn't help me feel fabulous. And so when I did my research and started this product, it was the easiest thing. I don't know if you can see this. Here's my Unimate. I I just I love it. I sip on it all day long. Sometimes I get busy talking and don't sip on it as frequently as I like. So I set a little timer so I don't miss it. But when the other thing besides the weight that I couldn't lose was this waist. And that really was depressing. And now I've lost 4.5 inches off of my waist. I am now down
hey,
24 pounds. But the other thing that had creeped up on me, I started having higher blood pressure. I went, what is that about? I exercise. I I just didn't understand it. And when I got on the Feel Great system, my blood pressure started to come down. And now it is what I call normal, 120 over 75 over 80. That made me really happy. The other thing, I don't know which came first, reshaping or happy, because I seriously just started feeling happy.
happy.
And after doing more reading about the chlorogenic acid and understanding that it helps to lower blood sugar levels, blood sugar levels, lower blood pressure, and elevate your mood. I mean, somebody said to me, well, how long do you have to take this? Well, I don't know when I would ever want to stop. I mean, seriously.
Yep.
So I am, as Carolyn always says, I'm a very happy camper. And
Well, you look like a happy camper.
You
Plus, your
do.
A1C went from a
oh
5.3 to a
yes,
4.8.
now that is crazy. And 5.3 isn't bad. You know,
Hmm.
that's in an okay level. But when it went down to 4.8, I was like, okay, this is great. So then my doctor commented on, wow, look at all this weight you've lost. Wow, your A1C is 4.8. So he said, you're going to keep doing this till December when I see you next. Yep. He said, I can't wait to see what happens. Now my
Well, I can't
doctor,
wait. I can't wait for your doctor to see your results. And Danielle, I'm going to get to you in a minute. You guys brought up the Unimate, and Mary was talking about it. We haven't discussed that yet, and I'm going to show you what this is because this is amazing. Thank you for mentioning that. So the Unimate is a powerful herbamate extract. It's actually Argentina's national drink. It has basically every single nutrient in it to sustain life. They call the drink of the gods. And you've all of us heard of GLP-1. That's what metformin is, Ozempic, Mounjaro. Those are synthetic GLP-1s. This here, to understand the hormone, we've talked about insulin as a hormone. GLP-1 is a hormone as well. It's a natural hormone that our body already produces in our stomachs. With our environment and our foods and everything else, we don't produce enough of it anymore. It's actually our overall, it's a master switch to our metabolism. It helps regulate appetite, controls cravings, and enhances your metabolism. Well, what this company did here, they took the herbamate and they perfected the process of extracting and concentrating and purifying key components from the plant. to create the most potent and effective herbamate supplement on the market today. It increases your GLP-1 naturally by 60%. This is unbelievable. Why take something that's a drug when you can take something that it has no side effect that's a food? Okay, so keep that in mind. And you heard everybody talking about the mental alertness and feeling good. This causes no crashes. It's non-addictive. It suppresses your hunger and cravings naturally. It helps you use your stored fat for fuel, boosts your mood, mental performance. I use it for all my workouts. It's like I said, I get up in the morning. This morning I went running instead of swimming. Um, it helps with your exercise. And then, of course, I said it's free of contaminants and it's been purified. So this is that. And the other benefit you've heard before about ketones, they're like fertilizer for your brain. Well, this here, when taken in a fasted state, clinical studies show that it helps increases your ketones by 80% in a fasted state. So you can burn 24% more body fat. So you wonder why this is not a weight loss program. The side effect is that you're going to lose weight if you have weight to lose. Just saying. So this is a very simple protocol. And real quickly here, I'll show you. It's been endorsed by the Cleveland Clinic, which is the #1 heart hospital in the entire world. Both these supplements are in the physician's desk reference, so you can look them up. And they're a nutraceutical, not a pharmaceutical. The only reason they're allowed to be in the physician's desk reference is because they have all the clinical studies. Remarkable. So let me quickly show you how to use them in a visual effect. First of all, the Unimate is the natural GLP-1, just to remind you. It has 1 patent on it. You use it when you're fasting. The balance, the fiber, you use it when you're eating. So if you have 1 meal a day or if you have 2 meal days, I use mine with my biggest meal of the day. If I'm going to have 2 really good sized meals, I use it twice a day and you just chug it like a beer before you eat. This has 4 patents on it. It's endorsed by all these places, the Cleveland Clinic, University of Sydney, BYU, Brigham Young University, Stanford University, among many more. But how you use it is really simple. Instead of breakfast, what we do is we drink our Unimate. I mix this up first thing in the morning. And if I'm going to work out, I throw a little bit of salt in there, of pink salt. And then I sip on this all morning. Then I break my fast at lunch. I eat normal. I don't count calories. I don't diet at all. I try to prioritize proteins and good fats because we need that. And it doesn't spike your blood sugar, so you can keep your fat burning going. After lunch, I mix up another one of these. You can drink it hot or cold. I still have mine in my cup from this morning. And then at dinner time, when you have your main biggest meal, all you do is take this fiber, mix it with 4 to 6 ounces of water, take it like crazy, and chug it like a beer before you sit down and eat. Really easy. There's no thinking involved with this. I keep these on the counter so I don't ever forget, and I mix my Unimate up the night before and I put it in the fridge so it's nice and chilled. So that's how simple this protocol is, and it works out. It's about $1.60 a packet. So you use 2 packets of the Unimate a day and 1 packet of the fiber. And so it works out to approximately $5 per day, which is less than a cup of coffee. At any airport I've been to or Starbucks, I cannot get a coffee for under $5, and you can't buy a meal anywhere. So it's $5, $5 a day. And you cut yourself out of snacking. The money you save, like John and I sat down, we figured out, we stopped alcohol and we are no longer snacking like crazy. We used to have snacks laying on the kitchen counter. He made up his own trail mix. And every time I walked in the kitchen, I grabbed a handful. So the money you save is going to be incredible. But just before I show you guys how you can order this protocol, Danielle, I have not forgotten about you. Why don't you share with everybody what's happened with you? Because it's beautiful. And I don't have a before, and I don't have a picture of you. So if you have something there, you can hold it up.
Well, most people know me. And as you all know, because I'm just now meeting you over Zoom and Mary, but the friends and family that have joined me on my Zooms, they see it in my face. And you all have seen it too since we started. But for me, So I normally make it in this, but I end up doing it in my little one, and I'll take mines, and I actually have another one over there because I double it for me. And so this weekend, oh, did we enjoy ourselves? We had a wonderful weekend. The boys were home. We had our niece and nephew over, and the chef, Mr. Brown, mi esposo, who's an amazing cook. He barbecued. He made peach cobbler. We had ice cream. We had beverages, all of those wonderful things. And so this morning I said, let me get on the scale because I just knew what was going to happen. And oh my God, I had scale win. I was so excited. One thing that I've done is, even if I'm not per se following the protocol with the 16-hour fasting, which I could never do prior to the system, my fasting consisted of when I stopped eating while I was asleep, and then the fast ended when I woke up. And that's how my fasting went prior to this system. And so now I'm able to do 16 plus hours of fasting. And in the morning, I make my unimate because I would get up in the morning and have coffee. Now, I'm drinking a healthy coffee, but still, I was breaking the fast, raising my insulin level. And so I'm drinking my unimate heated, like warm, like a warm tea. And then once I break my fast, I'll have my coffee and brunch or whatever. But when I got on the scale today, I was like, oh, a big scale win. And that was because even though I was enjoying my family, enjoying all of the gathering, I still want to live, but I also enjoy whatever I'm doing. When I went out of town, I want to enjoy. I don't want to be confined or like, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I don't want to eat that. No, I just continue drinking in between, however it may be. If we get up in the morning, if we're out of town and have breakfast, after I have breakfast, I'm drinking my unimate until always with balance first, because I do balance twice a day as well. And then drinking my unimate in between, and then lunch. We went away for my husband's 65th birthday to Paso Roble, wine country. So, it was a lot of wine drinking. And I was so surprised because I stayed the course in between the wine tasting. I would still have my unimate. And then before meals, I would drink my balance. And so for me, it has helped me to,
That's
to,
food freedom.
yes,
Food
that's what it
freedom.
is, food freedom.
Yep.
And I can enjoy myself, but at the same time, I'm not snacking. And I think that is the key to this, is not snacking in between meals. And I would, as you said, walk past the counter, grab a couple of nuts because, that's healthy. Now, I was eating healthy snacks, but the problem is I was eating snacks. So I started in March, the beginning of March. And interesting enough for me, Carolyn, like Mary, we had been on this weight loss hamster wheel. And I mean, doing all the things, activating our natural GLP-1, and just was not getting the results. And so Carolyn, after you reached out to her, Monica, she reached out to me and she goes, Danielle, I think I know what the problem is. And I jumped on a call, and actually, I just went back this weekend to look at like the first text that Carolyn sent me. And oh my gosh, it was a recording with, I don't know, he's a neurologist. It was him and Shannon, the dietitian. And Shannon, who she calls herself the rogue dietitian because of how she was taught to eat multiple meals a day, and what she was teaching her patients was what was causing the problem with their health. And so I reviewed and I was so excited. And so anyway, I looked at the recording that Carolyn shared with me. And then when she shared with me the picture, as you showed before, of the symptoms, I was like, oh, 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 okay. I had a couple of them on there. And then the other thing that I wanted to share, the last slide that you shared, hold on, I took a screenshot because for me, that is my family's history. Hold on, let me tell you which one it is. And that has always been something that that has been concerning for me. And my mother, type 2 diabetic, her mother, type 2 diabetic, diabetes, hypertension, or high cholesterol on both sides. And then one of her brothers, before he passed away, he went blind, and he also had both legs amputated. Then we talk about the type 3 diabetes. On my father's side, the Alzheimer's. My dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, his mother, my grandmother, and her mother, my great grandmother. So those are things that I've always been aware of and something I always wanted to address. The diabetes, in addressing that, I wasn't addressing it from an insulin resistance because, like most of us, insulin resistance is a diabetic thing. I didn't have diabetes. My insulin levels, so I thought, weren't fluctuating. I don't know because I wasn't testing them. And so this has truly been a blessing for me. I'm so thankful that Carolyn shared it with me. And because of those things, those diseases that plague both my maternal side and my paternal side, now I'm addressing those things, and now I get to share with friends and family, my children, my grandchildren, who are athletes but are on the system, because once you learn about insulin resistance, you don't have to be a person that's overweight or a diabetic. You shared a picture of the heart with all of the fat around it. That could be a person that's thin. It doesn't have to be somebody that's overweight or obese. And then people will think that, oh, I'm not insulin resistant, or I don't have visceral fat. You don't know because you can't see it because it's inside the body, and it could be around your smaller organs. So I just think, I'm thankful for this, Monica, that you're doing this, for us, and you're going to be doing it every day. And then I'm going to figure out how I can do it on Facebook.
Yeah, we need to share. It's become, for all of us here on the Zoom, we've become, and by the way, you look marvelous. Since March, whenever you got started, your face. I mean, I'm just saying people on this protocol start looking younger. We start because we're glowing. There's some kind of a glow. All of us here, I've noticed this change. So thank you for sharing your story with us. And we are very passionate about sharing the word on this. People need to know there's another way. There
Yes.
is another way. We don't need to get on all these drugs metformin. We have Dr. Bickman. I met him in Toronto, and we're going to meet him in this weekend again. He's going to be speaking to us. He is like amazing what he has taught us. And people that are taking the drugs like Ozempic and Manjaro and all those drugs, they actually deplete your bone muscle mass, and you can't replace that. Once that's gone, that's gone. The side effects are not worth it. John sent me an article today on my phone. I have not looked at it. I'm going to have to make a copy of it to share it because it's really quite something. But we're running a little long here. I want to just share it with you. All of us here on the Zoom, we are on this protocol, and we're lifers because it saves us money. It makes us healthy. Why change something that's working? We have a gift from the company to have a discount link that anybody that's watching this, you can share it. And you can go and order right from the company directly, but you're not going to get a discount. You need to have the discount link. So Carolyn has a discount link. Mary has one. Danielle has one. And I'll share with you what it looks like when you get the link, because I want you to realize that this is something that is not, don't buy it off Amazon or eBay, because this company is in 60 countries. They do not sell on Amazon or eBay. Okay, so what you're buying, you don't even know what you're getting, and you're not going to get the discount, and you're not going to get the money back guarantee. We all pay the same price. But
Even
when they share,
customers, what I love about this, excuse me, Monica,
good.
is that even customers get a discount link that they can share with their friends and
Oh,
family. It's not for just partners, everyone, and everyone pays the same price as you were just saying, but more importantly, everybody gets a discount when
yeah, and if
they
you're
get the discount link or referral link from someone who shares it with them.
exactly, thank you for bringing that up. And if you when you order the protocol and you get your own discount link, you can actually share it, like you said, with family and friends. And the company gives you, it's like a affiliate links that they give you a credit in your back office when you order for your next towards order. So it's really, really nice. So this is what the page will look like when you get it shared with you. And I'll notice up here there is an American flag. We all happen to be in the US, but this is available in like, I think it's 63 countries right now. So when you click on that flag, you can see Canada, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Europe. Look at all these European countries. Amazing. Asia Pacific. One of my best friends, he married a Filipino lady and he lives in the Philippines. I shared it with him and he ordered it right there in his own currency. Middle East and Africa. And then when you're on this page, once you get the discount link, you can read more about it right here, how to use it. And then when you click on purchase or buy now, this is where you customize your package. And this is what you get in the mail. I'll show it to you. You get something that looks like this. You get 2 boxes of the Unimate, the GLP-1 drink, and you get the bottle and you get 1 box of the fiber. And here's you can pick your flavors. So you can get 2 boxes of lemon, you can get 2 boxes of lemon ginger, or what I do is I mix and match. I get one of each so I can change up my flavors. And then the fiber, you can have it either in orange creamsicle or the berry, whatever you like. They're both just as good. And I'm going to show you how to save some money here. Either way, you're going to get a discount. But if you do a one-time purchase, you can see instead of $235, you're paying $169. By the way, this is also HSA and FSA eligible. You can use that to pay for on either one. But with the one-time purchase, you have to pay shipping, and it's like $10. I like to save money no matter what I do. So I suggest the monthly subscription. Why? You get another $10 off. You're paying $159, and you get free shipping, which is another $10. So this is a $20 saving right here. You can cancel anytime. You're not locked into anything. And guess what? They even give you this cute little gift here. You get a free little hand mixer. I really like that. So you get that. And everybody gets this money back guarantee. It's 90 days, unconditional money back guarantee. So if you're not happy after a month, 2 months, or 90 days, no matter in that time frame, the company will, you just call them up and tell them you didn't like it, whatever the reason is, they'll ask you why, and they refund you. And I'm going to be quite honest with you here. The only reason this will not work for you is if you don't use it. And the reason they give you a 90-day money back guarantee is because we didn't get to where we are in 1 month. Use it for 90 days and give it an honest chance for it to work, and it will. You've seen our results. All of us shared our story here. And the support you're going to get, all of us on this call are coaches. So you're going to get support from that. Every single Tuesday, we have a science call with medical professionals. We usually have anywhere from 400 to up to 700 people on these Zooms that we do. We'll share the link with you and you can ask questions, whatever conditions you may have, and get the answers there. And we also have a support group on Facebook that has almost 3,000 people on it now, both medical professionals, people like us on the products, where you can ask questions. So you're not alone on this journey. And I just want to really deeply share with you why struggle. I have done everything. I'm 65. There's not a thing I haven't tried. I even did the cabbage soup diet, just saying. Everything costs me money. I've spent thousands of dollars on different things, from shakes to this to that. Nobody ever said to me, try this 90-day money back guarantee. And I said, what do I have to lose? and look what's happened. And that's for all of us the same. So
Absolutely.
I
I
just
wanted to
wanted to
say something. I'm like,
go ahead.
four amazing women, 60s, in our 60s and in our 70s. Wow. The energy, the youthfulness, feeling good, amazing, amazing. I'm so thankful to be a part of this sisterhood of
Yeah,
wellness.
me
And
too.
we're going to add more sisters to this and
Yes.
brothers.
Yeah, we got to pull them along. Well, yeah, John, we're going to need John to pull the guys along.
Well, John, he's outside working in the yard. We're leaving for Miami, so he's trying to get everything done outside before we go because it's so hot. We had to do
I saw
some.
that picture you posted. Your yard is just beautiful. Your landscape
We
is beautiful.
thank you. We do. We put a lot of time into it. Thank you. So he's
Beautiful.
out doing that right now, or else he would have been on. He didn't want to come in looking like a grubby man.
So I
So
had a really fun comment today. I've been a realtor for 20 years, and I went into my real estate brokerage today, and there were three women there. Some of them knew me vaguely, and they went, "Wow, you look good."
Oh,
And I said, "Oh, I just came from the gym. I went there to stretch and do a little bit of 10 minutes of B3 exercise." And they went, "You look that good and you just came from the gym? Wow." It was fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, those are
people will notice. You'll have an aura around you because you're happy and you're feeling good. They will
yeah.
notice.
Yeah,
So
this is wonderful. And one thing that I didn't tell you about, I have to tell you quickly. My John works a night shift. He gets home at 11:45 at night. I always stay up for him, but I eat dinner, match his eating time at 6:30. But by the time he gets home by 11 o'clock at night, my hunger level is just going crazy. And I'll say to him, "I can't go to sleep till I have something to eat. I cannot go to sleep hungry." And he'll go, "That's not good for you." But that is before I started the Feel Great system. The Feel Great system has totally eliminated any cravings. I eat dinner at 6:30, maybe 7. I don't have anything after. I don't even sip Unimate
mm,
afterwards. I drink water. I go to bed. I am not even hungry. I get up the next morning still not hungry, but I start sipping my Unimate because I know the good stuff that it does for me. And then again, I don't eat until 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And that's just how my day goes. I'm telling you, I've never done anything as easy and yummy as this.
yeah.
well, thank you for sharing that. And we're over an hour, so I want to end this quickly but we're tomorrow evening. We'll be doing this again at 4 p.m. Mountain time. So whatever time zone you're in, that'll be 4 Mountain. Pacific, it'd be 3, it'd be 5
Eastern.
Central, and 6 Eastern. There you
Oh,
go.
5 and 6. Yeah.
So we'll be doing this again, and I'll see if we can get some other people come on to give their testimonials, but it'll be remarkable. So
Thank
welcome
you.
to the sisterhood. Thank you for being here. I'm going to stop recording right now. There we go. And
Thank
we're going to end
you.
this now. And you guys thank you so much. Let's have a wonderful evening, and we'll
You as
catch you
well. Oh,
guys.
Raph has a call too. I
Yeah.
noticed you sent that out. Raph has a call this evening, right? At 6
Yes.